Today we will get to charts and prices, but first, I have a huge insight which will steer all my investment decisions over the next 10 or perhaps even 20 years. I will coin a new term today, and it's era digitalis. Digitalis. And it's era digitalis. Cheers to that. And era digitalis is the result of 7 synergies, which all play out right now. This insight has matured over some time, and it all came together today, and I'm sharing it with you today. The first synergy is digital lifestyle. How we work, how we find dates, how we communicate with our loved ones, how we learn, how we recreate, how we make money. People in crypto realized this a little bit before the rest of our society. But then came COVID, and everyone else discovered it too, pretty much at the same time. The digital lifestyle is already here, and it's the fundament of era digitalis. The second synergy is digital ownership. That is the invention of blockchain technology, that you can send something from one person to another person on the internet without the third party. That wasn't possible when I studied computer science in the 90s. This technology then enabled global money on the internet, DeFi, and this whole new field of technology. Blockchain, crypto, and digital ownership is the most real form of money in era digitalis. Next, peer-to-peer media. This is the emergence of the creator economy. This is that Twitter or X is becoming media. Now we don't need an editor retelling something that someone has said. We can read it straight from the person who actually said it. Traditional media is like becoming screenshots of Twitter. And the fact that you are here right now with me. Peer-to-peer media is the source of information in era digitalis. Next, artificial intelligence. I'm often having conversations with ChatGPT. Even though AI grew steadily for the past 30 years since I studied it, on a logarithmic scale, perhaps by 40% every year, it remained almost useless for most applications for the entirety of those 30 years. Then suddenly, it had become good enough to be useful. But now it will keep growing by perhaps the same 40% or more every year. And all this is very unintuitive, but fact is that artificial intelligence will grossly outperform humans in many aspects in era digitalis. Here is 120 years of Moore's law on a logarithmic scale, extrapolating this into vacuum tubes, relays, and even mechanical systems. Number of transistors on microchips, and I think that parameters in machine learning systems will have a similar straight line on the log chart over long periods of time, which is almost incomprehensible in our linear thinking brains. Next, global protocols. The protocols that we built, the 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, is one of the best early examples. Even China and the US and Japan switched to this same protocol. That was revolutionary at the time, that you could take your mobile phone and go literally anywhere in the world and it just worked. And it was later that Steve Jobs was in Turkey, I think, and realized at some cafe that people around him were talking about exactly the same things as they did home in California, and he realized that Apple shouldn't have regional versions of their products. Now, this is the obvious default. There are no countries in era digitalis. Era digitalis uses global protocols. Era digitalis is inherently global. Next, virtual reality. And I'm not going to call it spatial computing. My friend Matti Haapoja, I think, put it the best. I think the biggest problem with the Vision Pro is that none of the reviews can ever do it justice. You really need to try it to see what it's like. And I have a feeling that 95% of people will be absolutely blown away like I was. The fact that it almost looks like you're looking at the real world, while actually it's cameras filming in the front and screens displaying it back on you, means you can almost live other people's experiences, or even experiences that have never happened, and it feels real. As always, things will take longer than everyone, me included, expect, but I think the impact will be enormous. Era Digitalis isn't physical, but the emotions felt are real. VR makes Era Digitalis real. Brain links. This is the part which is just emerging. This is just 3 days ago. The first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and is recovering well, promising neuron spike detection. But there are also other brain links which have come further and are less direct. For example, the eye and face expression tracking in Apple Vision Pro. You no longer even need to move your body to steer the digital world. The brain will directly control real-world outcomes in Era Digitalis. Now the big insight is that if you look at this, these are all in synergy with each other. The fact that digital money exists will make virtual reality more lucrative. The fact that protocols are global makes peer-to-peer media stronger. You guys are from all over the world. The creator economy is boosted by our digital lifestyle. Artificial intelligence makes the use case for brain links more attractive. Between each of these 7, there is a synergy with each of the other 6. This is pretty big. So for the next 10 years, for any investment I'm looking at, I will ask myself, can this asset 10x or 100x in value as a direct result of the world accelerating into Era Digitalis? Or will this asset potentially become irrelevant as a result of Era Digitalis? Then I'll stay away or even short it, because maybe most people haven't realized this yet. I think Era Digitalis will transform our society much more than you, me and everyone can imagine. For good and for bad, it will create larger gaps in society between some individuals with almost infinite leverage and many people who can't add much economical value to society at all. And the inherent global nature of this will also have profound impact. Brain power and digital companies are more mobile than pre-Era Digitalis companies, which had physical resources in a building. And very few country leaders have fully realized that. And I'm saying it now that competition will heat up. The competition for these new brains and these new companies. That's my second insight, but that's for another video, so please subscribe. The most practical value of this, here and now, is that, for sure, companies, wealthy individuals, prime ministers and governments and fund managers and retail investors will fail to see the magnitude of the change coming and thereby fail to position themselves accordingly in the market. By seeing the big strokes, we can position ourselves better and make more money. Investing is about arriving at the same conclusion as everyone else before they do. Your exercise right now is to think this over and how you can take advantage of this insight right now. Now let's look at the markets. Nothing has changed about Bitcoin, but there has been a lot of discussions about yield, and this support line here now has gotten a bit fuzzy. I think we need to add a support region instead, because this whole area now is acting as support, just like it was back here in 2022, and as resistance in March and May 2023. So yeah, I think I'll go with that. We can't say that this is a breakdown yet. it really isn't. So we will have to continue to monitor this. And just if someone is new here, the reason this is relevant is that if this one starts looking like this, that usually has a positive impact on speculative assets like stocks, like Bitcoin, and so on. Physical gold is again attempting yet another go at this doomsday resistance that it has failed to climb over so many times. If it breaks out, I think that positive momentum in physical gold can also spill over to positive momentum in digital gold. Bozo, you guys are asking me about. Some angry. Guys, come on! Floor price was 40 sol when I made the video, and coin price was 0.0037. Now coin price is 0.02. 0.021 divided by 0.0037. This one is up 5.6x. Guys, you're up 500% in exactly 1 week. If you're then still angry because it was even higher earlier, then guys, sell and go home. Then this market isn't for you. But I understand, like I said in previous videos, some people watch the video 3 days later and don't realize that the situation has radically changed because meme coin time frames. Then they still buy, thinking that TA and timing and price doesn't matter, only FA matters. So they go in and they buy exactly here, and then they ride this down to today, minus 66, 67%. And to those of you who did that and are now angry, I literally have a whole chapter in my course, which is called Late to the Party. If you followed that, you're still in profit right now. Even if you missed the video, found it 3 days later, FOMO bought at the exact top, because then later it dipped to 1 or even 2 support levels and bounced up again, hundreds of percent up. So quit complaining. It's not the chart, it's not me who is the problem. It's you. Study more, get better. Sorry for being harsh, but I'm not here to pat everyone on the back. I'm trying to give you hard truths, whether you want to hear it or not. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you're absolutely determined to not learn anything from me or anyone else, then really don't invest, guys, except with symbolic amounts to learn perhaps. This is a great success, up 500% in a week. If you're still angry after that, then this market just isn't for you. For the rest of you, TA-wise, with the disclaimer that we're definitely on meme coin time frames here. But still, there is one interesting observation here. We have a support here, which is still holding. If this breaks down here and here, that would be pretty bad. But if it breaks above this level, which isn't that far from here, we have something interesting in the chart, because this is left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and as you know, it only becomes a head and shoulders if the neckline is breached. And we can definitely discuss exactly where that is. In this situation, it's kind of difficult to say. But if instead the high of the right shoulder is breached, that pattern is invalidated, and the invalidation is a stronger bullish signal than the head and shoulder is a bearish signal if it confirms, which it has not done. Technical analysis does not predict the future. I don't know where this price will go any more than you do. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, at least consider my course, guys. FA-wise, I said it in the beginning that I think that this is more than just a funny meme. I think it was a great idea, well executed, with the NFT and token combination to reduce whale slippage. Now, of course, there's people saying that that wasn't a completely novel idea. Perhaps, I don't know, I hadn't seen it before. But regardless, neither was Bitcoin. It was a combination of multiple different ideas, well executed. And the thing is that it doesn't matter, because look here, now they're trying to turn this idea into a whole platform. We strongly believe that the NFT times token hybrids are the way forward in crypto and will make single-sided NFTs and tokens obsolete. Solving OTC and slippage problem is a huge step forward, and they're gonna try to build that platform from what I'm reading here. I've talked too much about this already. Why don't you read this yourself instead and form your own opinion? And what many people fail to realize is that a great idea is worth very little. It's how well you execute on that idea, which is worth something in the end. Microsoft for the longest time literally had as business model to not be the first mover, but to be the second mover and execute better. It was precisely that insight that made me believe in BNB and Binance Smart Chain back in 2020. And now people have forgotten all about that, but oh boy was I called an idiot then, or paid shill or something, which I was not. I just thought to myself, who executes the best in crypto at that time? And I felt the answer was Binance. I had gotten this pretty much right one time back here when there was an ascending triangle that broke out with the large online gold flip and proceeded several 100% up. So back here in 2020 I felt the same thing was happening again. Ascending triangle, breakout from the ascending triangle with large online gold, and there was a retest of that horizontal breakout level which held. I said at the time I felt that this point was a great risk-reward opportunity. Then what happened? Price continued up in a straight parabolic advance, shooting up to the peak 3600% or 35x. We can discuss here exactly where the parabola broke, and to final exit it was still 2000% or 20x up. Now I feel that the use case that Binance Smart Chain fulfilled at the time, an easy to use, cheaper and faster alternative to Ethereum, is partly getting eaten by Solana. Even faster, super cheap, thriving launches right and left, like the Juniper airdrop the other day. And in market cap, it's about 16% of Ethereum's market cap. Bitcoin's market cap is about 6% of gold's market cap, and Era Digitalis is coming. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsson out.